They walked out of the courtroom in complete silence, heads up, masks on, hiding from the cameras. If your daughter had just been killed on a cruise ship, wouldn't you want to scream her name from the rooftops? Wouldn't you want justice? The behavior of Anna Kepner's stepfamily, specifically father and her stepmother, is raising massive red flags. We know that Anna died from mechanical asphyxia and homicide, and the FBI is looking at her 16-year-old stepbrother. But what is happening behind the scenes with the rest of the children, well, it's just disturbing. We're going to watch the footage from the custody hearing that's happened recently and listen to the reporter try to get answers. Listen to the allegations that the parents tried to restrain the oldest child to keep him quiet. This is a family at war with itself. Here's a report from Local 10 News that captures the tension perfectly. It confirms the stepbrother is the lone suspect, but pay attention to the testimony mentioned about the other kids. Watch this. My apologies. This is from Fox News 35 Orlando.
How will you ensure justice is served for Anna?
We begin in Titusville, a family staying quiet about the murder of their 18-year-old daughter. The Kepners were back in court today for a custody hearing involving Anna's step-siblings. One of those siblings is the lone suspect in Anna's death. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Brown.
Good evening. I'm Liane. Today's hearing gave us a look at the family dynamic between Anna and her siblings. Fox 35's Esther Bauer is joining us live tonight. So, Esther, you tried talking to this family as they were leaving the courthouse.
Liane, we tried, but we were again met with silence from both Anna's dad and her stepmom. This comes more than a month after Anna was found dead, stuffed under a cruise ship bed. But we are learning more about all of the turmoil that was taking place inside this family way before the vacation even happened. Have you learned anything from the FBI since Anna was found? It's been over a month. Have they told you anything on possible charges being filed? How will you ensure justice is served for Anna when she died while cruising with her family? Anna's dad, Chris Kepner, and her stepmom, Chantel Hudson, both showing up to the custody battle between Chantel and her ex-husband, Thomas Hudson. In the courtroom, we heard testimony about an alleged assault and how Anna's stepmoms, Chantel Hudson, kept their kids from seeing their dad for more than a year.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. For more than a year. Well, keep looking. So the silence, they don't answer reporters, but we got more to show you on their frame of mind after this video. So stay with us. But this is wild, 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 wild that they, as you're going to learn, seem more preoccupied with preserving their 16-year-old's anonymity than grieving over Anna's loss. It's just, it's disheartening.
All of this turmoil leading up to Anna's stepbrother now being named a suspect in her alleged murder. Thomas Hudson says he never gave consent or permission for his kids to go on the cruise, but Chantel took them anyway. This isn't the only issue we're seeing between the parents affecting the children. In court, we also learned all of the kids were in therapy for at least a year. The oldest child testified Chantel and Anna's dad, Chris, tried to forcibly move him to Titusville against his will and even restrained him in the car.
And what did Christopher or Kevin do at that point?
They had held me against the seat, and he put his arm around the back of my neck, holding me up against the front seat. She held me there as well.
Was your mother still in the front seat, or did she go to the back seat?
At that time, she had crawled to the back seat and started holding me.
And then Christopher Kevin, what exactly did he do with his arm?
He put his arm around my neck, like, pushed me up against the front seat.
So was your head pinned against the front seat?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear that? Anna Kepner's father and this 18-year-old's mother. Anna Kepner's father and this 18-year-old's mother. Anna Kepner's stepmother, forcing him, putting their arms around his neck. This was the reason this 18-year-old chose to not live with them and to go live with his dad. Are you wondering, did the 16-year-old who's allegedly responsible for the murder of Anna Kepner, did he learn this behavior by his own parents? Leaves you to wonder, but stay tuned because we've got more.
And did you remain conscious the whole time, or did you black out? Or?
I believe I blacked out once or twice.
We asked Mr. Hudson's attorney about what happened
Whoa.
at the hearing.
Possible.
Yeah, how do you feel that Thomas's other children are staying with a mother who another child died under her care?
It's complicated, isn't it? That's all I have. Thank you.
Are the other children safe under their care?
I'm sorry, I can't answer any more about that. That was already discussed in another hearing. We made our motion. We tried to have that happen. The court ruled what they did. Obviously, what we're doing right now is to make sure that Mr. Hudson gets to see his children in accordance with the prior parenting plan.
I can't even believe that judge, I mean, I was shocked when we reported it. The judge, in her infinite wisdom, didn't see an urgent nature in bringing the 12 or 13-year-old child living with Anna's father and this stepmom of sorts, if you want to call her that. They didn't see an urgent need to have her removed from their care and to bring her home to her dad. Unbelievable. I mean, if there's not a more urgent situation than a child dying and being murdered on your family vacation by a member of the family, I don't know what is more dire than that and more urgent than that. But
And still no word from the FBI on possible charges being filed in this case. A judge did not have enough time to get through all the witnesses who were called to court, so this family will be back in court for another hearing. Reporting live in Vieira.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. This case amongst them all, like all of them are always so shocking, but this one's just wild in its own way. I mean, you heard the child on the stand. The oldest child testified that his father and stepmother tried to forcibly move him and restrain him in a car. It paints a picture of a high level of control, highly stressful environment, and this brings us to the text messages. While the FBI investigates the homicide, we have the leaked communication between the parents of the suspect. And these texts, which have nothing to do with the morning of Anna and everything to do with managing the situation, are chilling. They don't really read rather like grieving parents. They lead or read and create this managing a crisis setting instead of poor Anna. So let's just take a look at them and look at the language in these texts.
Hundreds of pages of text messages. I'm your community correspondent, Troy Campbell, and in these messages, we see that they are sent from the stepmother of 18-year-old Anna Kepner, who died on a cruise ship in November. These messages are between her stepmother and her ex-husband. In them, we see how the family reacted in the days after her death. Take a look. 18-year-old Anna Kepner died on November 7th on board a Carnival cruise ship. And the very next day, we see Kepner's stepmother, Chantel Hudson, texting her ex-husband, quote, "I need you to call me ASAP," followed by, "It's an emergency." Thomas Hudson, her ex-husband, then responds asking to take custody of their youngest daughter to, quote, "get her away from the situation." That is when their text messages turn to discuss their 16-year-old son, who the family themselves have said is under FBI investigation related to Kepner's death. When asked if Chantel was able to speak with her son, who was hospitalized following Kepner's death, she responded, "I was able to talk to him last night for under 2 minutes briefly. He just keeps repeating over and over. He can't remember anything." Just 2 minutes later, Thomas Hudson messages, "Okay, I know everything is supposed to be hush-hush for now, but I've seen that it is still getting out with posts and comments between Facebook and TikTok and stuff. I just want to make sure until things are certain that he doesn't get any unnecessary comments towards him." Chantel then responds their youngest child doesn't know anything about the investigation into her brother. And, quote, "I'm waiting on the FBI and the doctors to call me." She also went on to text, "Nobody knows anything about him. He's a minor. And when we talk to the FBI again, we will reiterate that we do not want his name out there, and everything that's been posted on TikTok and social media, nobody knows anything." Regarding potential charges for the 16-year-old stepbrother, his mother then texted, "Once we get the autopsy today, depending on what it says, depend on whether he's booked on these charges." And law enforcement says Kepner's body was found underneath the bed in her stateroom on that cruise ship. Now, the FBI has not said the 16-year-old stepbrother is a suspect. However, they do say their investigation is ongoing.
What do you think? What do you think about those texts? Like, it makes sense. I understand to a certain extent that they have to protect their son. I get that. But the language, the key phrases from the text is that the focus is on the stepbrother. There's a lack of focus on Anna. If this was an accident, why the panic? If this was a tragedy, why the strategy? And, it's just the timeline on that ship is crucial. We have another report that dives into the specifics of the investigation and the memory loss claim. If you don't remember those specifics about the memory loss, we're gonna show you right now. This evidence suggests that the 16-year-old allegedly responsible for murdering Anna Kepner can't remember a thing, despite the fact that mechanical asphyxiation requires force, despite the fact that it's a personal attack, and the people that should be fighting for justice for Anna are in a conflict of interest while trying to remain totally anonymous or keep their 16-year-old out of the headlines and keep their unit intact, trying to keep the real situation hidden. And it shows us that the system is worried about the safety of the other children, and based on what we've seen, they should be. So we're going to keep tracking this case as it progresses. What are your thoughts about the Anna Kepner case and this child's claims that he remembers nothing about what happened to Anna Kepner that night? Thank you for being here. Love and light. Cheers.